Hello everyone and welcome to a new match in the Intel Extreme Masters Season 2 group stage. For the third time we're going to finish Group B, and we're gonna finish it with a Night Elf versus Undead matchup with Protois, the leader of Group B, as the Undead, of course, the German, spawning in the 12 o'clock position in blue, starting with the Altar, Crypt and the Ziggurat. He won on play number 1 with a kind of death win against Sase, and on play number 2 he took down Kemper with 2-0. So far a perfect tournament for him, and his opponent TReSh with the Ancient of War in front of the extremely tiny green camp, spawning on the 10 o'clock position, Altar first. He so far didn't win a best of 3. He lost on playday number 1 against Satini with 0-2, and on playday number 2 against Sase with 1-2. But this time he's not gonna have a Night Elf mirror, so he's gonna have to show that he can do well against Undead. Speaking of Undead, his opponent is scouting in both directions, finding the Ancient of War quite quickly here, and he's already gonna know what's up, where his opponent is spawned, and pretty much also what his opponent's strategy is. Demon Hunter halfway out, DK slightly later, and second Ziggurat is coming already as well, so we're gonna see a bunch of ghouls early on. And first ghoul starts to arrest, second Moonwell is coming. TReSh ideally, of course, doesn't want to use the moon shoes at this stage of the game already, so he's just maneuvering the wisps around. One in the mine, one starts with, or one saves himself by building the second Moonwell here, and he's actually delayed this creeping by a little bit, just by having the ghoul there, and he's going to start creeping here nevertheless. The Death Knight is going to be out now, is he selling the TP? Yes, he is, getting dust and rot. If I remember correctly, not quite sure. Actually, we haven't seen him against Night Elf yet, so I guess it was probably Happy who sold his TP previously against a Night Elf. At least I remember someone doing it already in this tournament, and it probably was Happy then. Or Hasuops. Could have been him as well. Well, we do see the first bunch of ghouls already arriving in the main base of TReSh, and since he went for some creeping here, which he was able to pull off successfully, he didn't have any more archer production. The second Ancient of War here is being attacked. This is an all-in push. Basically, he's going for the second crypt. This Ancient of War had to be cancelled, and if I saw it correctly, it wasn't cancelled. It was just killed, and Protois continues to keep up the pressure here. One Moonwell is going to finish. The fourth Moonwell, though, is going to be cancelled, and he's going for Immolation first. Another attempt of building a second Ancient of War. In the meantime, first coil has been thrown on one of the ghouls, so perhaps Protois waited here with his first skill on the CK. Second coil is being used right now. He's pretty freely using his mana here. He's gonna be running out of that soon, at the same time doing a bunch of damage against the ghouls. Still staying tier 1 here, Protois is, and so is TReSh, who has scouted this all in already. 2 ghouls falling here. The Immolation is going to wear off right now, and things are gonna get a little bit more difficult for TReSh afterwards. Right now, having to work without Immolation. The Death Knight has to fall back. The ghouls, plenty of them, are falling back to the fountain, which is a heal fountain, which is of course going to help a great deal with this mass ghoul all in, since, providing free healing for the ghouls when being pulled back. The Demon Hunter chasing after them. But is this really the best idea? Now he's gonna be forced to Tau Portal, perhaps. No, he's able to squeeze out for the time being. The ghouls are making sure the Demon Hunter is being chased away from the fountain, that he cannot make use of the free healing here. One of the archers waking up the creeps, hiding, and Protois decides to just start creeping down here, taking down the Null Warden. Is he going to creep the entire ground of this creep camp? It looks like the answer is no. Dust of Appearance might be used soon here in case TReSh actually decides to hide one of his archers here. He's gonna have to take the long walk home with these. One of them might be caught off here, but he decides not to chase. This one is getting surrounded and killed while he's having a lag, so still somewhat able to micro decently. And more ghouls are coming. 26-30 supply right now for TReSh, who has finished a second Ancient of War. Produces more archers. 37 for Protois though, who has saved a bunch of low HP ghouls. He's lost 2 if I recall correctly, but the rest of them survived, and now he's diving in, going for a bunch of wisps here, attacking the archers here with this ghoul, who's going to be taken down by the final arrow of one of the archers. Another ghoul is about to fall. The archers here are pretty exposed though, and they have to pull away from the Moonwells, which is not at all what you want to do. One of them is falling. Aura right now for the Undead, which is helping a great deal with the ghoul micro. He's not getting the Demon Hunter surrounded here. A little bit of mana available on him as well, so he could use that in order to get some more damage done against the ghouls. 4 archers hiding out here. But he's gonna have a hard time basically connecting them with those Moonwells again. Another Immolation is being used. Protois nicely microing his ghouls here, making sure that it's as difficult as possible for TReSh to deal any damage against those. TReSh, on the other hand, we do see him split his archers. These 2, are they going to be cut off by these 3 ghouls here? Looks like they might be. This one could just be coiled down if he wanted to. No, he's going to, yeah, he's coiling it down. The archer here is still on the run. Still no tech here. Hunter Soul has finished in the meantime, which is quite nice. Can start building some hunts and even an Agent Protector here. I'm not really sure how much help that's gonna be. And a Graveyard is being added here by Protois, so he's perhaps thinking about adding Fiends here eventually. Still no tech by him. What an interesting early game. Immolation used again by the Demon Hunter. The ghouls charging forward. Another archer is going to be picked off, and we do see, just looking at the XP here, that it is Protois who has killed slightly more. Both of the heroes at about the same XP, but the Demon Hunter had about a half a level advantage in the beginning. The next ghoul is about to drop though, and he's really not faring all too well against these hunts here with the ghouls, not surprisingly of course. Trying to get another one of these archers killed, but the ghoul is probably going to be the first one dying, or is he able to block him away? Actually, the archer dies here first, and the ghoul is surviving for the time being. But this isn't really, with the 3 hunts out already, this isn't really the time for Protois to continue being aggressive here. And let's see, the Ancient Protector is actually finished. Protois is gonna have to stay on the left hand side of his base with the low HP ghouls. Another one is being picked off. Graveyard is finishing, and yeah, tier 2 tech is coming as well. So TReSh has held this. He's teching in the meantime as well. Protois a little bit further ahead. And the Ancient Protector, as I said, we'll see how much he's actually going to be able to do here. With the 3 hunts out already though, he might be able to stall Protois at least for a little while here. Pulling the full HP ghouls right now though. And those are still quite a bunch of ghouls. 38 supply for Protois, whose 50 supply Ziggurat is finishing soon. 30 supply for TReSh. And the first Fiend is out for Protois as well. We'll see. I imagine he's gonna want to transition into Gargoyles eventually. I don't think that this is going to be mass Fiends. Maybe just as a reaction to these few hunts and the Ancient Protector here. But as we can see, with a large army, he can take care of that threat rather easily. Going for another 2 Fiends though, so maybe I'm wrong. Tier 2 soon to finish. Shop is coming as well. The hunts and the Demon Hunter, of course, will, unless TReSh makes pretty glaring micro mistake, will probably not be surrounded here. Yeah, he stays away from the ghouls. Poking in here, the first Null Brood is going to the Undead. And now with the Immolation, he's going for it again. Still has the Town Portal here. One of the hunts is actually not getting surrounded here. 2 ghouls are falling, but 3 Fiends are with the Undead army right now, and that makes it super difficult for those hunts to actually dive in without taking sick loads of damage very quickly. DK with the Gloves of Haste is switching focus here, coiling one of the fiends. He's reached level 3 right now, so has the Demon Hunter level 1 immolation, by the way. Not very surprisingly that he didn't continue skilling that. And Panda second on the side of TReSh. Double Ancient of Lore is coming. And the hunt actually got surrounded here. Is going to fall as well. The ghoul is going to survive. And he continues producing fiends. Okay, so we're just gonna see a lot of fiends here apparently out of Protois, who's keeping the pressure up. TReSh has to fall back with the Demon Hunter, has to fall back with the archers. And might get some pressure against his shop here soon. Wisp is being detonated. The ghouls are still charging forward. I'm not really sure if that's the brightest idea. Going for one of the archers here. There isn't really too much Moonshoes remaining, so this one is probably gonna fall. The Panda is coming in as well. The Ancient of Lore number 2 is going to be cancelled. This one is going to come up. So one Ancient of Lore up for the Night Elf. And the second one is going to be rebuilt. Protois in the meantime has lost the majority of his ghouls. Still up at 45 supply. He's just producing mass fiends here. It looks like he doesn't want to go into the long game with gargoyles and hit and run and just doing the 2007 undead thing basically against Night Elf. Getting Burrow, getting a Slaughterhouse, staying on tier 2, getting the Lich second. And TReSh, yeah, it's got level 3 on the DH. It's got a little bit of XP on the Panda. Let's see if he's harassing with a DH here, then the Panda on his own can not really take any ambitious creep camps, but the Tree of Life has already been built in the meantime here, so with that one tanking, he certainly can. The Ancient of War is being caught out on the map here. The Demon Hunter is getting a little bit ambitious with his 145 HP, so he realizes that, falls back, and so does the Panda. It looks like Protois isn't going to give TReSh the time to just, you know, freely creep his expansion. And he's again going for the cancel on the Ancient of Lore, and it looks like he might get it if he's trying to go for it, but he decides to switch to go for the first Dryad, instead to go for another Archer instead. He's getting the Archer, the one Fiend is being attacked here, Lich is coming in, Nova being used, Heal Potion being used by the Demon Hunter. The Fiend can burrow here if Protois wants to, but he decides to go for the Coil instead. Ghoul is being pulled back, the Ancient of Lore is actually finished, and the next Fiend gets coiled, so that mana potion was well worth it. And TReSh is still under so much pressure here. 60 mana or 59 has been burned away here, so no mana for the time being. So now he's definitely gonna have to burrow. Is there dust? No, but he can buy it here if he wants to. He buys it on the Demon Hunter, and he's just using Immolation, so he doesn't even have to use the dust, but he still decides to use it. And the next Archer is being killed though in the meantime, so even though finally a Fiend has fallen, Protois is trading so favorably here. The next Fiend is under some pressure. Dust is about to wear off, but it's still running. He could finish the Fiend here quickly. Now Dust has worn off. The Panda is falling here, and well, Protois is still in a very demanding position here. 47 supply against 32. In the meantime, still tier 2. He's keeping the pressure up. Mass Fiends. Getting the first statue on top of it finally. Ancient of War is being attacked here. Demon Hunter coming back from the Moonwells, which are now all empty as far as I can tell. And with another Immolation, going for the next Fiend here, and there is no coil available currently, so keeping all of these Fiends alive against the Dryads though and the Demon Hunter pretty difficult. But in the meantime, the first Dryad is falling as well. The second Dryad is probably gonna fall as well, or is it? Yes, especially with those next two Fiends coming in, and the dust is about to wear off, and the Demon Hunter doesn't have any more dust. He has to use the heal potion already. He can burrow right now if he realizes it, but it looks like he does realize it, but too late. The Fiend is falling. In the meantime, only 2 Dryads remaining though for TReSh, and this one is being micro-attacked just in time. This Fiend, is he again gonna burrow too late? No, he isn't, as the Demon Hunter has to fall back. What a micro-heavy game here. Of course, it is nighttime, so the moon was regenerating some Moonshoes, and finally the shop is feeling the pressure here, which I predicted like, I don't know, 10 minutes ago or so. At least it feels like it. But what does TReSh really have left to work with? I mean, he's got still level 1 on the Panda. His shop is down. He can only produce Dryads, which isn't all too great against mass Fiends. Where's the DH? TReSh is heading towards the fountain here. Didn't get a new dust though, so he really has nothing to left to work with here against this pressure of Protois. Who's going tier 3 after this as well? One of the lores is falling. The first of the moon guys is going to fall, and this is looking grimmer and grimmer by the minute for the Night Elf here. 35 supply against 50. By the way, no upgrades on either side. And the next hunt is falling. The Fiend is burrowed in time, but actually the Immolation should be enough to get the kill. At the same time, the Panda is surrounded though. Can he pass the Staff of Preservation onto the Demon Hunter? He did do so, so he's going to be able to staff that one out in time. So he's getting really the best he can out of his situation, but is it going to be enough? It looks like the answer is probably still no. Next Fiend is being burrowed here. Still no dust on the Night Elf. The next Dryad is falling. Only one Dryad remaining here for the moment. Another one is being built, but the next Moongirl is being killed. And there is the GG by TReSh. I just said it. What a micro-intensive game. Protois is going for the big ghoul all-in. TReSh holding for the moment, getting the second Ancient of War up eventually, getting the Hunter's Hall up eventually, and with the first few hunts, yeah, he was just able to kill so many ghouls at a certain point, and it was able to trade so well that Protois couldn't continue pushing anymore. Protois switching to Mass Fiends though. I felt like with a slightly quicker tech, you know, with the decent chunk of XP that he gained, he could just transition into a normal game with gargoyles behind this, but apparently he had the better game sense there, switching into Fiends immediately, making use of the fact that TReSh invested into those hunts, that TReSh delayed, well, his own tech basically for doing so, and he was able to, with the, as soon as the first 3 Fiends were out, he was able to immediately keep the pressure up, and TReSh was never able to stabilize. He had to try and basically spend all the gold he's got on tier 2, had to try and fight against Fiends with only Dryads, and wasn't able to hold the follow-up pressure anymore by Protois. So nicely done by him. 1-0 for him. And second map is going to be Turtle Rock.